Hello everyone, Amanda here. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been busy beavering about in the background working on digital designs, and I've come up with this fabulous collection for my Ko-fi members as an extra for this month. So alongside whatever, because it's a secret, fingers on lips, whatever journal collection I come up with for them for this month, this is an extra. And this is called Mixed Textures. And I always have a reason or a little story behind why I make the collections that I do. And I made this because I don't have a craft room where I can store loads of fabrics and loads of, packaging and things that add texture to your journals. Also, I wanted interesting patterns to perhaps make journal covers with, or for the inside of journal covers, or what we call end papers, or just something a little bit different to make tags and things with. And so I've come up with mixed textures. So this first one here is denim. And I zoomed quite close into the fabric so that you can see the weave of the fabric and you can see all of that lovely texture. So that's really, really gorgeous. And then we've got one here, which is kind of like a bleached out look. It's stunning, but you can see all of the texture there with the dark grey stitching, and then there's mottles of blue and white there. It's really fabulous. And these are gonna give you the appearance of texture in your journals without having to hoard a load of fabrics. Obviously it's not the same, but it's giving the appearance of texture. Brilliant for ripping up, adding to your clusters, like I say, making your journal pages, adding to your spines, adding to your pockets, journals, card backgrounds, boxes, any paper craft project can use these papers. So there's another one with a lovely weaved stitch there. And then this one is actually burlap. So you can see all of the little squares in the stitches. So there's lots of detailing to give you the feel of texture. Okay. And there's all sorts of different types of texture in this collection, which is why it's called Mixed Texture. These are vintage fabrics. Because it was directional, and I know that I've got ladies that make boxes, and one lady in particular reached out to me and said, can you please do some in portrait? So I'm going to try and do some. I can't do every page in portrait, but I'm going to try and do some of them in the portrait style so that they're more versatile. So this is a lovely vintage fabric, and it's you can see the linen in the background. And it's just beautiful, like, reminds me of maybe cottagey curtains or bedspread. Your kind of vintage shabby look. Really, really gorgeous. So I've done it in the portrait and I've done it in the landscape. Okay, very soft, kind of neutral colour, so they would go with anything as well. And then I've done this one in the portrait and the landscape as well. And this one has got a linen background, and then these images here have been designed to look like they've been embroidered, like it's hand embroidered. That's what it's meant to represent, and it just looks lovely. They look almost 3D, and they do look like they've been stitched. It's a really lovely pattern. And then this is another lovely vintage fabric, linen, with the print, and again I've done that in the two directions, just beautiful. And then we've got this one, and this one is your linen. You can see all the pattern of the linen there. I think this is linen paper rather than linen fabric, but it's giving you that lovely look, and this would make beautiful journal pages because linen effect paper, it can be pricey. So here's a good alternative. You could print that double-sided, print them as many times as you want, and you look like you've got linen effect journal pages. And then this one I just love because I love doilies. So this is a small ditzy print, although they're not too tiny. They're maybe 2 inches on a soft pink fabric background. Okay, and it doesn't matter which direction you have those in. When it doesn't matter about the direction, then just done them in that way. And then we've got one that's larger, And these doilies are fabulous. They look really lacy. And then they're on another weaved fabric background there. You could even cut those out if you wanted to. You could. And those just lovely. Then these, you know, for something a little bit different, because I'm always wanting different things for my members to add to their digital collection to help inspire their creativity. Okay, so these are kind of like photographic prints, and this one is of crochet, and I just thought it was lovely. You know, you can do what you like with them. Whatever you use papers for, you can use these. Okay, but how cool would that look on a cover, or like I say, as part of a spine? It's so lovely, and you can see every stitch and every detail. It's lovely. And then there's another one, so that's like a crocheted table cover on some fabric. It's just lovely. And then another photographic one. These are kind of dreamy and zoomed in. There's two, and this is milk lace. Very zoomed in, very kind of like photographic style, but you know, something a little bit different to spark your imagination. And those would make beautiful journal pages, but you know, you can use what you want. So you can make journals out of them, mini albums, folios, card backgrounds. I know ladies make boxes and all sorts of things. Okay, absolutely all sorts of things. There's no limitation to what you can use these papers for. The only limitation is the size. You know, they are printer size. They're not 12 by 12. They're printer size, so either A4 or letter size. But you can make a heap of stuff. Beautiful milk lace again, zoomed in, very photographic, very dreamy looking, and it's just another fun texture page. Now these can be interpreted two ways. I've interpreted them as carved wood, but it could also be interpreted as tooled leather. And I think these are fabulous. I can imagine these on the inside covers of a journal or down the spine of a journal. I just think they're fabulous. All of the detail and the light, capturing the 3D shape of those florals and flourishes there. I think it's stunning. So we've got two different ones in two different patterns. One's lighter with red tones and one's much darker, almost like a is that walnut? Like a dark walnut colour? And that's more of a, I don't know. It's like vintage photo and ground espresso or walnut stain. But they're stunning. And then, you know, because we're keeping it, so it's mixed, so there's different kinds. So it's not all dark, it's not all photographic, it's not all fabric. We've got some shabby. So we've got shabby wood or shabby shutters. I think super versatile. You cannot go wrong with your wood. I'd love my desk to be like this. And there's another one with the cute shabby colours with your light pinks and your light blues. Really, really lovely. And again, you can have it either way. And the beauty of this kind of digital is that you can extend it. So you could, I mean, mine's got borders. I could cut my borders off, I could print another one, and I could glue it there, and I could extend that page and make it 12 by 12 if I wanted to, because it's just a very, very plain repeat pattern. There's nothing to match up. So really good if you want to cover a big space. Perfect. And here I'm on with my photographic ones. I really, really like these. I just think it's a little bit of something different from the digital images that I create. I just thought these photographic images, it was just a little bit of something different. And this is some beautiful lace on a fabric background. And it's just gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And again, I've done that in the portrait and the landscape. And we've got this beautiful ivory lace over kind of like a fabric, and I think it's got like distressed wood underneath. Okay, and then we've got another one here with this beautiful lace garland on some distressed fabric or wood. I think it's fabric. Beautiful. Then, you know, to extend the collection further, we've got some rusted metal, but you know, I do love the florals and the flourishes rather than just metal plate and rivets. So I've gone for this one, and you can see all of the rusting, you can see all of the patina and where some of the metal is even kind of bubbling. And you'll have to excuse me, I've got, I'm having to take breaths because I've got flu. I'm trying not to snivel, and I'm a little bit struggling with my breathing, and I'm trying not to cough. So please bear with me. So where was I? I'm making excuses for myself. Right, so we've got the lovely rusty patina. Again, I think that's going to make a beautiful journal cover. Or I don't know. The options are limitless. You could make metal doors. You could make all sorts of things. I'd just like it as it is. Maybe you don't want to make journals. Maybe you want to make a glue book, or you like to collage. All of these pages would be perfect for collage. Perfect. Because you've got textures, you've got photographics, you've got all sorts of different things. It would be perfect. So there's it's limitless what you could use these for. Another one, I just love this. It's meant to be like metal, but they almost look like plasterwork, do these flowers. But again, you've got the patina, and that beautiful, I love that kind of blue and teals, like in here, the blue and the teal patina. I like that more than the rust. I think it's stunning. And then we've got some lace. So this is vintage lace, and it's very detailed. You can see every single stitch of the lace, and you can see all of the weaving of the netting that, you know, it's sewn onto. It's beautiful. We've got it in 2 colourway shades, okay? And it really does look like, well, it's photographic rather than digitalised lace. And so you can see all of the detail. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And that one looks like it's on burlap. Then I've got a couple of leather ones, and don't forget, if you are a member, there is one in the Vintage Gentleman, which is the dark. Have I got any to hand? Just let me grab it. So this one is in the Vintage Gents, so I didn't feel the need to put another dark one in here. So with the 3 together, you've got 3 fabulous faux leather prints. So you've got this one in the Vintage Gentleman. That one's a slightly lighter one, and that one's a red tone. Now that one I have zoomed in quite a lot so that you can see every little bit of detail of that leather, okay? Now you may not like every page in this collection, but there is a bit of something for everybody, okay? Here we've got a neutral burlap. It's stunning. And then this one is a linen, and it's a linen paper, this one, rather than a fabric. So the pattern's very subtle. The camera may not pick this up because it's a very soft, pretty pink. But again, you could use that for your journal pages so that you've got linen effect paper without the linen effect prices. So I think there's 31 pages there. And like I say, it's mixed. So rather than doing a full collection of leather or a full collection of lace textures or a full collection of wood, you know, and bogging you down with files and files, I thought I'd take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and do a collection of mixed textures so that you might not like everything, but there will be something for you in there that you will like. I like them all. I picked them. So I hope that you find those useful. I think it's a great addition to your digital library. And if you're interested in my Ko-fi membership, this is free to my members, okay? And they get heaps of things. And if you join today, you get access to everything that's ever been posted. So check out my Ko-fi, have a look. The pricing converts to your currency via your payment system. So my price is £3. That is British pounds. So if you are paying in a different currency, it might come to more than 3.00 because it's changing the currency. But it's a very low cost, I promise you. I have heaps and heaps of very happy members. I love them to pieces. And don't forget, along with the collections, we also have the private members only videos every Saturday at the moment. I do more when I have the time. When I'm in design mode, I don't do a right lot of anything. I don't do a lot of YouTube, I don't do a lot of posting, because I'm concentrating on getting the best designs I can for my members and followers. So I hope that you like that collection. I think it adds a little something and I think it's going to inspire and spark your imagination in your creativity. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Big love to you all. Bye for now.